Hey guys, welcome to Cube Dudes. My name is Ryan, and today I'm doing something kind of interesting, I like to think. I'm going to be editing my video for this Sunday, and you guys, if you want, you can watch. It's just kind of going to be a way for me to show you guys my whole editing process, how I actually go about making a video. All that kind of stuff. So, yeah, ask me questions, and if I can glance away, I will try to, although understand I might kind of tunnel vision myself a little bit into focusing on the software. So, again, if you guys have any questions, I'll try to answer them, but for now, I'm going to edit the video. So, first I'm going to create a new project under the name Magnet Rundown, which will be this Sunday's video. So then, while this loads up, and it'll briefly not respond. I don't know, my software does that sometimes. It's a bit strange. I'm gonna be the video that I'm doing is basically a rundown of all the information I have about magnetization. So I'm also going to add, so you guys can hear my audio, but that's going to be at a lower volume. Alright, so let's see if I can get this running. First I'm going to copy the URL and I'm going to send it over here. Alright, I'm trying out a different chair, so this is kind of uncomfortable. Let's see. Okay, first thing I need to do is go over to my Cube Dudes Assets folder, my little master thing. I've set up a folder already with the 3 video files I took from Magnets Are Rad. I'm going to bring them in here. So first step to any kind of editing process is importing media, at least the way I do it. You need to get all the files you're going to need ready and into the software. Next I'm going to get the audio that I'm going to want, the music that I'd like, which is going to be George Street Shuffle by Kevin MacLeod. It's a little jazz chart. Now, there is a chance that the audio is going to get desynced, although it's semi-rare. It does happen sometimes, so I may have to refilm that video. I'll let you guys know if I do, but you're gonna have to see. Like what happens if I mess up. So, first things first. Let's do this. First I've got to watch through this little clip. There's going to be a lot of clipping, repetition, all that kind of stuff, so it's not going to be the most interesting thing. So here I sit down. There are a few mistakes in here, so be warned. Focus off for the entire clip. Okay, so now that we've got that clip down, we're going to go back there. I might actually have a blooper reel. Ho ho ho. So we've got the first clip down. I'm going to drag that to the beginning. Stop calling me on Skype. Anyway, okay. I got the first clip made. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the video transitions, iris, the iris round transition that I always use all the time. That works. So next, what I'm going to do is, so you're going to find the next video that I want to use. I believe this was a dud video because I remember the length of the video. Now this is a 7-minute long clip. It is massive. So first I'm going to see, because I think there was a mistake in it. Let's see. Okay. So there's a little bit of a funny kind of thing here. So I noticed an issue, and it's not really that much of an issue, but it's something that will possibly get some complaints. My camera / phone has dual microphones, so it's got stereo sound. Now, for someone who's just talking, I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the entirety of this track or this clip so that it applies to it. I'm going to go to the audio channels and set it to only one of them. I'm going to see which one is stronger. Now, quick, a bit of a warning. That's left, and here's right. Most of what I say in this video is going to be... And we're going to go with the right channel. That's the right choice. Ha ha. Okay. So sometimes I say stuff like that I don't really want, that I think is funny at the time of filming the video, but then I realize is really stupid at the time of editing. So thankfully, this is a still shot that I can jump cut out. This is going to be tricky. So I'm going to try and get it to see if it can flow right into with that. Let's move on. So I'm going to delete out the Citizens of the World monologue. You can't hear the video. You can't hear the audio of what you're editing. Hold on. That's kind of unusual. Here are the 5 puzzles. Okay. Have many. With that, let's move on. Are my opinions, of which I have many. With that, let's move on. Here are the 5 puzzles. It's a bit weird if you know that I edited it out. Is that loud? That's loud. That I myself have magnetized. A lot of these are my opinions, of which I have many. With that, let's move on. Here are the 5 puzzles that I myself have magnetized. These are the 3 that I like. Vault 3, M3, and GTS. And these are the 2 I don't like very much. Send one Mars, which started out as a bad cube already. So I mean, what's the point of magnetizing it? It's not going to get that much better. Okay, so what I see right there is I see an opportunity to put in a title. So here's what I'm going to do. Here are the 5 puzzles that I myself have magnetized. These are the 3 that I like. So I see the spot where I say these are the 3 that I like, and I'm going to start listing them. They're going to say Volk, M3, and GTS. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to create a title that I'm going to put in to kind of list the 3 that I said. So let's see. I have a few title templates, but none of them really fit. So I'm going to base it off of the closest one, which is going to probably be large heading. So then in another window, which is over here, which is the title editor, I'm going to type in. So in place of large heading, I'm going to say So then, thankfully, I get a little bit of a preview here. So I can see what the contrast is going to be, so I can play around with things. Now that's going to be a little bit poorly contrasted, so what I can do is I can find the shadow, and I can bump up the opacity of that a little bit. And that's going to help me out a lot. Now that's fairly legible, so now I'm going to go out of the title editor. I'm just going to leave it there, and then I'm going to drag this title out. You'll find the title that you create, along with the sequence and any files up in the project menu, which is just where all the assets are kept. So drag this here. I just noticed that there was an apple on my desk when I did that. That apple's terrible. Let's see. So I'm going to give an iris round video entrance transition to this. I'm going to shift it in a little bit so that what I'm looking at right here is that this little box within this title is a transition. That's the time it takes from the beginning of the transition to it to end. So I want it to end just as I start saying Volk. So that's a little bit of a timing thing. Volk 3, M3. I don't like that, so I'm going to move it down. And look at that. It updates. What? You can do things in real time? Wow. It's very cool, Ryan. Yeah, I know. So, Volk 3, M3, and GTS. And these are the two. So then it's going to taper out. And then I'm going to create a new title based on current title by pressing this button. Bam, there's going to be title number 2. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this exactly the way it is. But I'm going to put it on the left as a contrasting sort of concept. Puzzles I dislike. So in that I'm going to put let's see, I'm going to put Mars. I'm going to delete the third line that I don't need. I'm going to recenter that, and then I'm going to look at that. Now, I realize that this I did actually perfectly center vertically, but this one I didn't. So what I'm going to do is just press that button, and that fixes that. So now, what I'm going to do...
And these are the two I don't like very much. The Send One Mars, which started...
Okay. I may be experiencing a crash right here, but that's not a fault of the program. That's a fault of me having a pretty poor computer. It takes a second. It's a bit slow. It's not the newest computer. It's like 2012.
Send One Mars, which started out as a bad queue already. So I mean, what's the point of magnetizing it? It's not going to get that much better. And the GAN's error, which again, like I said, that's a subjective thing. I wasn't a fan of the GAN's error really to begin with, but
crap, we're a little bit long. Uh-oh. But we can fix it.
It's not going to get that much better. And the GAN's error, which again...
So, luckily for me, this video didn't need much jump cutting, so that went well.
Which, again, like I said, that's a subjective thing. I wasn't a fan.
So let's go back. I'm going to hit enter quickly to render some of the stuff. So that's going to do a quick sort of render. Now this is slower and a little bit laggier than normal due to the fact that I'm live streaming currently. So I'm going to try and close out of a few other programs that I have running. Thought I sent this a render job. This is being a little bit slow. There we go. So basically that's a preview render, which basically does like a lot of it so that you can watch it smoothly in the preview editor. It just gets a lot of the rendering done there. Why is... oh, I know why this is being ungodly slow. I may lower the output. I'm not sure. There's a chance I may have to. Like oh wait, no, it's working. It's just a huge video that I'm trying to make. I'm a bit tired. Now again, remember, we haven't done much clipping away from the video, so I need to keep working on that. Now, this music track that I have is 4 minutes 28 seconds long, so I need the video to be at most that. Much preferably less than that, so that we don't have to switch music in the middle, which I think is poor editing. So I'm going to see if I can lower the output. I can't change it while I'm in, so it's going to have to be like this for a little while. While it's rendering, it's going to be crying a little bit. However, in a moment, it'll be done. So I do this maybe once or twice, usually towards the beginning, so that my files are nice and it's not going to take forever and lag out the butt while I try and edit. So, yeah. I'm kind of like half expecting my visual design teacher to come in and like watch this live stream and give me advice about editing. That'd be pretty cool if that did happen. Now I'm like kind of half convinced that is going on. Like, Mr. Cole, are you out there? Okay. Okay, good. Good. Alright. So, we're on rendering frame 23,330 out of 24,989 just about. And it's going up fast. That's going to take a little while. So, how are you guys doing today? Anything interesting going on? Yeah, this is a slow process. There's more than a bit of waiting for stuff to render in this field. Sam596, how is that magnetization of the Volk going? I know you're doing that. It says your corners are done. Also, you can go ahead and hush about Premiere because it's sort of the professional software, so it's what the professionals use. That's why you're using Sony Vegas. And I'm here filming a video on my channel that you're watching. So, there we go. Editing is a lot. I don't know. Editing requires patience. Yeah, this is, I didn't really think this part through when I started deciding to edit videos on live stream. Now, like most of my live streams, this is sort of a spur of the moment decision. So that's why I didn't really put a huge amount of planned and meticulous thought into this. And that's why I'm kind of playing with magnets in my hand right now. But I don't want to shut down this live stream like I do whenever my live streams go south. No, not today. Not today. No, sir. No, sirree. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait for this to render. If not, I will just end the render and keep editing that way. But I will now, right this second, promise you guys that this video will become more interesting rather soon. Okay? Okay. Okay, dokie. I'm not even sure if it's good editing practice to always render your previews, because I don't actually have any technical formal training in how to edit at all. I know people who do. I've got a lot of experience in teaching myself how to edit, and I have worked with a lot of the other Adobe software, so consider myself proficient. So yeah, this is gonna be pretty quick. I don't know. This is taking an inordinate amount of time, but I'm not gonna shut down the live stream. No. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna continue talking in order to fill the space. So basically, the video that I'm doing right here is talking about everything I know about magnets. Like just a rundown of all the stuff that I know about it, like my suggestions, what I do when I magnetize, how to magnetize, all that stuff. This is a render preview. This is so why does this have to be so boring? Why did I make this decision? Like, the thing is though, editing without a render preview with my computer like this slow because of the video output from the live stream, it would be a nightmare. It would be garishly slow. So I have to render it in order to keep my own sanity. It's going down. It's at 24.5 out of 24.9. So technically, we are making progress. Yep. Okay. So, anyone from Discord on? Hey, to you if you are. 24.7 out of 24.9. We're getting there, guys. Hang in there. It'll all be ready soon. And I'll be editing soon. Whew. Man. Hey, it's done. It's done. Alright, we're editing again.
So the big trend right now in the Cupid community is magnetization of photos.
So what I like to do sometimes is I like to add little shots of myself, little rude little messages, you know? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new title. But so in order to future-proof myself, I'm going to call this Little Funny Message. Take the size down to about 80. So what I like to do sometimes is add little shots of myself, little funny messages that only appear on the screen for about a frame or two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to forget how to add this to title templates. Import current title as template. There we go. So I'm going to create one that says, "Wow, your camera focus sucks." Because, you know, my camera focus does suck. It would be faster with Vegas. It would be faster if you weren't being a jerk. So take that. No transition for this one. Just straight as it is. So I'm going to put that towards the beginning. Get that pretty short. Zoom in. Get that even shorter. So then it'll be right here.
The big trend right now in the Cupid community.
There we go. I might actually get it a little bit smaller.
Big trend right now in the Cupid. The big trend right now in the Cupid community.
Perfect. I love that.
Magnetization of puzzles. Installing magnets into the corner.
So now that that's done, Let's look at
I
this title sequence we just did.
Vault 3, M3, and GTS. And these are the two I don't like very much. The Sen 1 Mars, which started out as a bad cube already. So I mean, what's the point of magnetizing it? It's not going to get that much better. And the Gans Air, which again, like I said, that's a subjective thing. I wasn't a fan of the Gans Air really to begin with, but there is one guy I know who's kind of good at speed cubing, who's a fan of the Gans Air, especially the magnetized one. His name's Felix Zemdegs. You may have heard of him. Anyway, these are the three that I like. My main cube currently to compete with and to solve is this Vault 3. I'm a huge fan of it. I think the Vault 3 just...
There is a prime opportunity for a jump cut. So a jump cut is when you have a hesitation or something stupid that you want to take out.
I'm a huge fan of it. I think...
So we're going to cut this little segment out, delete it, and close it back up.
This Vault 3. I think the Vault 3 just caters itself to magnetization much better than most other cubes. Except maybe the GTS, but I'll get into that. The Vault kind of had a bit of a, it was overly smooth. It didn't have that much of a bump or a glide when you were turning it. But the adding of magnets...
There's an opportunity.
When you were turning it, but the adding of magnets definitely increased that. So that's why this is kind of a main. Definitely increased that. That's why this increased that. That's why this is kind of a main, and I think that it's interesting because this is not the first puzzle I would recommend magnetizing, because it is a this is not...
There's a jump cut that I can make.
Increase that. That's why this is kind of a main, and I think that it's interesting because
get out of here, Facebook post. So
definitely increase that. That's why this is kind of a main. This is not...
I can actually get rid of that whole segment anyway.
Increase that. This is not the first puzzle I would recommend magnetizing, because it is a split piece design. There are basically two different types of puzzle constructions. There's the split design, where the piece is kind of split down the middle and you can take it apart. There are basically two different types of puzzle constructions. There's the split design, where the piece is kind of split down the middle and you take it apart, or split into pieces and parts or there's a cap design where
this stuff can be prior knowledge. I can cut some of that out.
Puzzle constructions, there's the split design, or there's a cap design where the piece comes off in caps and then you can put the magnets in just like that. Cap designs are very easy.
So another cut here.
Very easy to magnetize.
Cap designs are very easy to magnetize. Yes, Ryan.
Designs are
very
easy
to magnetize
compared to a split piece. I'm not saying that is like the hardest thing in the world to do. I'm just saying don't try and figure it out on your own. As compared to a split piece. I'm not saying...
I am not saying that because I'm going to cut it out.
Of course, there are great guides available.
There's a lot of stuff I can cut out. Most of it is Speed Cube Shop stuff that I kind of reiterate.
There are great guides available on Speed Cube Shop for both of these kinds of puzzle magnetizations for free download. Just go to their... As if you're placing an order for the item download guide for magnetization on the page. Those are written by a friend of mine. I read it. So,
Hello. I can see that.
the guy who's been kind of doing a lot of the magnetization work. So, to recommend a beginner,
That is a huge chunk that can go because I basically reiterate all the information shared in that. Remember, I'm trying to get it under a certain amount of time, which is 4:28. Currently at 5 something, 5:50 something. So I got over a minute to get rid of again.
to recommend a beginner to a beginner, I would say get a GTS to magnetize. It's sort of the quintessential magnetized puzzle these days. It's what everyone really kind of jumps to. For magnets, I like N50 grade, 4mm by 2mm Neo N50 grade magnets. I like.
So I see an opportunity here for a title because I'm kind of dumping information at everyone. So I'm dumping information. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a title. This is just like statistical information. So new title based on template, large heading. Get the title editor back here. Now this is kind of under the category of subjective information. Oh, I can see that's off the screen. So I'll add that with an iris round. It's crashing again. Always save your work frequently. In fact, I'm going to save right now. Done.
I like N50 grade, 4mm by 2mm neodymium disc magnets, but that's just me.
I talk a little bit about what other people might prefer. So that's extraneous information that can be removed.
But that's just me.
So let's see where this goes.
Some people like the N35s. I like the N50s. I think they're the good strength, especially for the Valk. Some puzzles, like a Gans Air, probably good strength, especially for the Valk.
I'm gonna take that out because the audio is desynced in this video, but it's subtle enough that it's
some puzzles
not gonna be seen,
like
except for instances like that.
Probably would be better with a Jow. So, but for your general purpose cube, I would say the N50s are good. They are a little bit on the strong side compared to other ones, but this is what I like, and this was what was recommended to me in the first place, and they've been working very well.
Well, 428 because I have the music track that I want to use is 4 minutes and 28 seconds long, and I don't want to exceed that because I want to have it be within the music track. I don't want to have to use 2 tracks.
I'd say do that. For glue, you gotta. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's kind of a typo. I'm not going to do the blooper reel for this, but there's a lot of funny things in here.
Don't mind me. I'm just going to take a minute to fix these magnets.
I'm an idiot. I thought that was funny.
There we go.
Wow.
Now for glue.
Here we go. blam. So this massive chunk where I talk about what other people might like and why my opinion is valid, I'm going to take out because I'm secure about myself. And I think my opinions are valid and understandable without the need to over-explain it. We're at 5 minutes and 8 seconds. We're getting there. I think we can make it. And understand that you can add, if we're not counting the intro, which is not going to be where the music starts, you can add 20. So we can add 4:48 is our time for the total length of the video. I think we're going to make it.
Glue. You've got a few options with glue. I haven't done much experimentation, but this is basically what I've used. Got this Loctite super glue gel control stuff. Now,
there's a bit of a jump cut. Jump cuts add up if you're trying to conserve time.
Understand,
I can take out a so right there, which is an unnecessary placeholder speech crutch.
Super glue gel control. Understand, it is pretty much inevitable that you will be getting glue on your fingers. If you don't like that, don't magnetize cubes. It's just kind of an inevitable. Don't magnetize cubes. It's just kind of an inevitable reality of magnetizing because you're gonna miss. You're gonna mess up.
Neodymium. You say neodymium, don't you? Yeah. That makes sense.
It's a bit messy. Also, understand, it's a bit messy.
This next statement I consider to be semi-important, so I'm going to keep that in, but I'm going to jump cut this out.
Don't magnetize cubes. Also, understand,
there is a huge hesitation and an in there, so I'm gonna cut that out. That one was intentional, so I admit to that.
You don't want to do this on like a.
I'm gonna take out a little bit of this space right here. That space is empty space.
On like a surface that you care about, like your super amazing custom vinyl.
Wow, I can't even speak.
Vinyl.
Neodymium. Now you got me thinking about it.
Some fabric printed stack mat that you spent a lot of money on. So get some newspaper or do it on a counter or surface that you don't really care about making slightly adhesive.
I can just end the sentence right there.
Really care about.
And that will be completely grammatically
Making
accurate.
Slightly adhesive. The Loctite gel control stuff works well.
So I'm going to make this jump cut. Then you're going to see how we are for time. We are within the threshold. So I can be a lot less aggressive with my jump cutting right now.
Gel control stuff works well, although some people recommend pure liquid glues over gel. I don't really think it makes much of a difference. I've still had the same effect. I've still had the same effect. You're going to want to be careful with your magnetized cube because if you drop it, like I did to my Volca a little while ago, It was in my jacket. A while ago. It was in my jacket pocket and it kind of fell out while I was sitting down, and I didn't notice it at first, but magnets can come out. They can be shaken loose, especially if they're dropped or hit with a hard force. So be careful of that. If it does happen, it's very easy to just it's very easy to just go back in and fix it, and you'll tell which pieces are broken by just where the rattling is. You can figure out by turning the faces. Oh, it's got to be in this. You'll tell which piece, and you'll fix it. And you'll tell pieces are broken by just where the rattling. Figure out by turning the faces. Oh, it's got to be in this edge. Turn this face. Rattle. Kind of stuff. So, yeah, just open up the edge.
That can be taken out. I might even have some space for bloopers. Who knows?
Back in and fix it. Yeah, just open up the edge of the corner that the magnet's in and just glue the magnet back in. Alright. Glue the magnet back in. Alright. Back in. So I think that just about covers it. If you guys want to get into magnetization, there are magnetic conversion kits available from Speedcube Shop. They give you everything you need. They give you plastic tweezers, tools,
There's an in there. Oh, I've got to destroy it. Stupid, Ryan. You are stupid.
Tools, magnets, and
I might even be able to get this below 428. Yeah, it already is.
magnets themselves, guides, everything you could possibly want or need to magnetize. I definitely recommend this, and I'll be posting a video about that soon. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Add a little bit of space at the end for the outro, or for the video effect transition. Now, and the music. Now, I'm going to give the music an audio gain of -20 right off the bat, just so we can hear myself. So here should be the finished video.
So the big trend right now in the Cubic community is magnetization of puzzles. Installing magnets into the corners and edges of puzzles in order to change their feel, improve their stability, help them retain their cubic shape. And I think that's awesome. So I'm going to run down with you just about everything I know today about the magnetization trend. Now, a bit of a warning. Most of what I say in this video is going to be extremely subjective. A lot of these are my opinions, of which I have many. With that, let's move on. Here are the 5 puzzles that I myself have magnetized. These are the 3 that I like. Vault 3, M3, and GTS. And these are the 2 I don't like very much. The Sen 1 Mars, which started out as a bad cube already. So, I mean, what's the point of magnetizing it? It's not going to get that much better. And the Gans Air, which, again, like I said, that's a subjective thing. I wasn't a fan of the Gans Air, really, to begin with. But there is one guy I know who's kind of good at speed cubing, who's a fan of the Gans Air, especially the magnetized one. His name's Felix Zemdegs. You may have heard of him. Anyway, these are the 3 that I like. My main cube currently to compete with and to solve is this Valk 3. I think the Valk 3 just caters itself to magnetization much better than most other cubes. Except maybe the GTS, but we'll get into that. The Valk kind of had a bit of a, it was overly smooth. It didn't have that much of a bump or a glide when you were turning it, but the adding of magnets definitely increased that. This is not the first puzzle I would recommend magnetizing, because it is a split piece design. There are basically two different types of puzzle constructions. There's the split design, or there's a cap design, where the piece comes off in caps, and then you can put the magnets in just like that. Cap designs are very easy to magnetize compared to a split piece. To recommend a beginner, I would say get a GTS to magnetize. It's sort of the quintessential magnetized puzzle these days. It's what everyone really kind of jumps to. For magnets, I like N50 grade 4mm by 2mm neodymium disc magnets. Now for glue. You've got a few options with glue. I haven't done much experimentation, but this is basically what I've used. Got this Loctite Super Glue Gel Control. Understand, it is pretty much inevitable that you will be getting glue on your fingers. If you don't like that, don't magnetize cubes. Also, understand you don't want to do this on like a surface that you care about, like your super amazing custom fabric printed stack mat that you spent a lot of money on. So get some newspaper or do it on a counter or a surface that you don't really care about. The Loctite gel control stuff works well, although some people recommend pure liquid glues over gel. I don't really think it makes much of a difference. I've still had the same effect. You're going to want to be careful with your magnetized cube, because if you drop it, like I did to my Volca a little while ago, it was in my jacket pocket and it kind of